American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
The American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
Go, Big Red. Go, Big Red. Let's hear it. Go,
Come on,
Big
Blue
Red.
Team. Come on, man.
Go, Big Red. Let's
Let's look
hear it.
alive out there, Blue Team. Let's play some defense now. Come on, D up. I don't care what you think about me. I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Here we go. Now, I got something on my mind and it's been bothering me for some time. So now I'm gonna hear the deaf and see the blind, and hope I find the lesson to the message in my rhyme. You see, if I speak honestly or emphatically, and I say one little thing that's negative about the president, then automatically I gotta be a resident of the other side. Why? That's absurd. The left wing and right wing are on the same bird. Huh. Red team, blue team, we need a fucking new team. Donald J. Trump's part of the same old routine. Behavior. Trump is not Q. Q is not a savior. What the fuck's he gave you? Some clues? Kept you confused? Q is just a part of the illusion, the confusion, not the solution. If Q knows the truth, then why's he gotta hide it in a clue? So you stay undecided and more divided. I don't buy it. You know what I trust? I trust the pandemic. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Helter skelter, shelter in place. Social distancing is not enough space for these noble moguls to piss in our face. It's a disgrace. Nobody fights back, nobody bites back, and once they're gone, no, we ain't getting our rights back. Why is that? Cause we acted like a bunch of soft bitches. Call up the cops if your neighbor got a cough, stitches, wind up in ditches. I hope I get to smell these Hollywood witches when they burning in hell. But right now I can tell we still under the spell. We fell. If you don't take pause and recognize your cause, they're coming for your balls. Red flag laws, government teeth and claws. I don't want my taxes paying for no fucking vaxes that they fast track. Cue up the laugh track, grab you up a knapsack with some provisions, because we got some decisions to make about our future of our nation and what we're facing. Contact tracing, legal interrogation, one PlayStation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for none. Have they won? No, not yet, but they're close to completing the lobotomy. With precision into scalpels of division, they make the incision the false dichotomy. And it's gotten me feeling animosity toward the aristocracy. I want the blood of the royal elite to flood the street and irrigate the field. How dare you motherfucking pigs bang on your shields? Nobody died when Kaepernick kneeled. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Democracy, and I'm gonna try. Turn into a technocracy. Before our very eyes, and I'm gonna try. Government only
Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another evening catch up, which I have not been naming these chats evening catch up, but that's what you're watching is the evening catch up, where we're going to talk about the evening news and what's going on in the world as of right now, or at least what is on my radar and what I am seeing. So, also, if you have any news that you know of that I don't cover here, you're more than welcome to leave it in the chat. We see that I have quite a few viewers, only a few commenters, so that's okay. If you want to lurk in the background, that's all right. We welcome you here too. IP Rainwater, believe that's the first time I've seen you, so welcome to the channel. Hope I can earn your subscription or your viewership. Says they should be sued. A leader of BLM should be arrested for saying, if you guys not give us what we want, we'll burn the whole system out. We're going to get to that. We are definitely going to get to that. We got some news articles out of Seattle, probably why you're here. You saw the title, right? We will be talking about Seattle mostly tonight. Days 3 survival. What's up? I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat, but I think I know the name. So welcome. Gerald B. Must have the bell rung. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for being here. And Irish. What's up, Irish? With that big old bullhorn you got now. So first and foremost, there are links in the descriptions below. 2 of them are to charity, well, not charity, like nonprofits that I believe in. The other one is to the song that was playing right before the video started, or right before I came on live. So check those out. And without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the stimulus checks. Right? I want to talk about that a little bit. We are going to get to the Seattle thing real soon, but I'm just kind of talking about something besides the news. My thoughts. Right? My thoughts on the whole stimulus checks. As you know, one of my fans and one of my friends here on YouTube is the Broken Patriot. He's not in here yet, or maybe he is and just lurking, but we've helped him out a little bit here with his computer and other things, you know, so he's a good guy. He's a great guy. He's rah-rah Trump, but, you know, he's still a good guy. He also is looking forward to his second stimulus check, and I can understand why. You know, he's trying to get on disability. He's having a hard time with it, as you do when you try to get on disability, right? So the last stimulus check helped him out quite a bit and helped him out with his channel. Even he put some of it towards his channel, which, you know, I'm okay with that. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. If you're going to get a stimulus check, hey, what's up, HDP? If you're going to get a stimulus check, you know, and do something good with it, right? And here's my opinion on that. Either pay off some debt, which if you have credit card debt, that should be your first and foremost, right? The first stimulus check we got, we had about $900 worth of credit card debt. What? It wasn't a lot, right? But we paid that right off. We had only about I think it was $500 left on my truck. So I mean, that would have been paid off anyway. But we're like, hey, you know, why wait another month to pay it off? Let's just pay it off all right now. And then the last of it, we put into a ½ ounce of gold, which is pretty cool. I can't lie. Right? Now, if there is another stimulus check, we'll probably be putting that into some real estate stocks that we have that pay a dividend or something like that. So what I would suggest, if you get a stimulus check, pay off your debt, invest it one way or the other, right? So Broken Patriot wants to invest it. He wants to invest his into his YouTube channel, which is an investment for sure. All right. Real Girl and Irish are going back and forth. Morning muster will commence in the morning, God willing. Yeah. That's dependent on weather conditions and if he has his kids holding the antenna just right in order to dial that in. But yes, Morning Muster, if you enjoy my content, you're going to love his. Irish USMC vet. Go check him out if you don't know about him. He does a video chat in the mornings, sometimes when God wills it, called the Morning Muster. And he is nice enough to have me on that, and I would definitely suggest if you like this content, you're going to love that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead. Whoop, that wasn't the right page. Let's go ahead and get to some of the news. First and foremost, we have a $1 billion investment firm leaving Seattle amid the unrest. And guess who's getting it? Phoenix will offer Smead Capital employees a lower cost of living and a better quality of life, company president says. The CEO of a $1 billion investment firm says his company is getting out of Seattle just in time as residents accuse Mayor Jenny Durkin of letting the city's so-called Capitol Hill occupied protests get out of hand and turn deadly. Yeah, she should face charges for that, in my opinion. The unrest has taken place in the city of Seattle. There is really not a downtown business community today. Smead Capital Management President Cole Smead told KTAR News on Monday. KTAR, I actually know of that place. That's a radio station. Awesome. Usually I don't have no idea about these articles. Seattle's CHOP group defends dismantling police after deadly shooting within the zone. Smead Capital announced the decision to move to Phoenix Camelback Corridor last week. My biggest concern for Seattle was that the business community is going to come back to, or what it was going to come back to. What kind of business are going to come back for customers, right? Because if you're a business owner, why would you want to have any kind of business in downtown Seattle after you saw what they did? Seriously? We announced our decision to move to Phoenix internally to our staff in January, long before, so they were already planning on moving to Phoenix. So maybe this wasn't to do with the whole CHOP. Before the CE thing, shutdowns or nationwide protests made their way to Seattle. Nothing happening or being reported in the news right now had any weight in our decision to relocate from Seattle to Phoenix. All right. So it's not about that. But a lot of people are claiming it's about that. People that aren't in the know. Durkin said Monday that city officials are working to break up the protest zone near Seattle downtown after 2 shootings there this past weekend, one of them deadly. I thought there was another shooting on Monday. I could be wrong. Meanwhile, area business owners and residents have been frustrated by the lack of police protection. We covered that a few days ago, the one business owner, and I believe we're going to be reading up on him again this evening in the next article that we're going to get to. I keep trying to wrap my head around the fact that we have no protection. I've pretty much come to terms that we have no protection here. Auto shop co-owner John McDermott told KOMO News after the shootings. McDermott said his business, Car Tender, was broken into and no officers responded early in June. So there you go. Now, also, this, I will go ahead and copy this and put this in the descriptions if you guys are interested in that. I keep forgetting to do that. But hold on with me just a second while I go ahead and do that. All right, that should now be in the descriptions if you're interested. So the businesses sue Seattle for abandoning their zone to violent anarchists. Once again, anarchists, they're misrepresenting the word anarchist. If you don't know, anarchy is not chaos. It means that you can rule yourself, that you don't need government in order to rule you. Basically, most anarchists believe that you only need one law, and that is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you live by that law, whether you believe in the Bible or not, but if you work or you live by that law, it's just good all the way around. The lawsuit is about the constitutional and other legal rights of the plaintiff. A collection of Seattle business, property owners, and residents sued the city Wednesday over its tolerance of an occupied protest zone, saying officials have been complicit in depriving them of their right to their property. The plaintiffs, including a tattoo parlor, auto repair shop, and property management firm, emphasized in the lawsuit that they are not trying to undermine the anti-police brutality or Black Lives Matter messaging of the Capitol occupied protest, Chaz. Rather, this lawsuit is about constitutional and other legal rights of plaintiffs. Yeah, I'm sure that they really had to make sure Black lives do matter, and we don't want to take anything away. That's not what this is about. Because in this world of cancel culture, that'd be a real fast way to get people against you. All right. Business employees and residents in and around CHOP, which have been overrun by the city of Seattle's unprecedented decision to abandon and close off an entire city neighborhood, leaving it unchecked by police, unserved by fire and emergency health services, and inaccessible to the public at large, the lawsuit said. The Seattle City Attorney Office said it had not yet seen the lawsuit but would review it. The occupation began on June 8th when the Seattle Police Department, following days of intense clashes with demonstrators in the wake of you-know-who's death in Minneapolis, police officer abandoned its East Precinct building in a densely populated Capitol Hill neighborhood. Protesters moved police barricades to block traffic, and scores camped in a nearby park. What's hilarious is they're so against Donald Trump and they think the wall is racist, the first thing they do is construct a wall and make borders. When they don't want borders, I don't really understand the logic. But I don't think they do either. The protests were run by anarchists. Once again, no. Socialists, mostly. And maybe some communists sprinkled in. Openly armed sentinels. Okay, openly armed sentinels. Yeah. Have kept watch, and the atmosphere has sometimes been menacing, especially at night. Police say that typical response times to emergency calls in the area, which stretch several blocks, have tripled. Well, they're not even responding to some. The one business owner who had caught somebody trying to burn down his place, the police said that they didn't see smoke coming from his business from like a couple blocks away. So they had binoculars or something. They're, what? No, there ain't no smoke there. We ain't going. Right? Openly armed sentinels have kept watch, and the atmosphere has sometimes been menacing, especially at night. Police said... Oh, I already read that whole paragraph. Sorry, guys. Mary Jenny Durkin has exposed support from the protest, calling it peaceful. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Expressions of our community college grief and their desire to build a better world, and the city has helped it by providing different barricades to better protect participants from vehicles. So that's why they put up barricades, to protect them from cars coming through? I don't think so. The city didn't put up the barricades. The protesters did. But following 3 shootings in the area on consecutive nights beginning last weekend, Durkin said this week the city would wind down the protest zone, at first by encouraging demonstrators to leave voluntarily, and that police would return to the precinct, but neither she nor police chief Best gave a specific timeline for when that would happen. Patty, an attorney for the plaintiffs, separately told Durkin in a letter Wednesday that she wanted the mayor's office to provide a timeline by Friday for cleaning out the protest and returning the police, or the plaintiffs would ask the court for an immediate order that a full public access be restored. Crazy, right? HDP, good thing they weren't constitutionalists. The feds would have come and killed them all. Yeah. We saw that happen in Oregon. Yeah, it's funny. If you believe in socialism and death to Whitey or Black Lives Matter and all that, they treat you with kid gloves. But if you believe in constitutionalists, or, the founding fathers had it right, or freedom, they will come and take you out. We have seen it at Ruby Ridge. We saw it at Waco, right? They want to claim that, David Koresh was this and he was that. Well, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but we never got any evidence. They just came and said it, right? They could have gotten him peacefully any time he went to town. He went to town multiple times. But the problem is he had a lot of weapons and they didn't like it. And we're not going to go into that too much tonight, but that was a show of force. That was a show of force to the American people. Do not go against your government. We will destroy you. Same thing with Ruby Ridge. That's just my opinion on that, obviously. City leadership have been on the ground daily having discussions with demonstrators, residents, and businesses and trusted community-based black-led organizations to determine a path forward that protects the right to peacefully protest and keeps people safe, the mayor's office said in a written statement. So in this class action lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court, about a dozen businesses, residents, and property owners said that they had sometimes been threatened for photographing protesters in public areas. Yeah, because they don't, one of their demands is they don't want to go to jail. You know, amnesty for all the protesters. That's one of the main ones. Which is bullshit. They should all go to jail. They should be going to Guantanamo. You started up your own country. Therefore, you renounced your citizenship. You should go to Guantanamo. Just my opinion. Let's see. So, they got threatened for photographing protesters in public areas and for cleaning graffiti off of their store. The owner of the auto shop car tender, which is hilarious that they're trying to make it tender for cars, said a burglar broke in the night of June 14th, started a fire using hand sanitizer. Yeah, this is the one that we had read about. I didn't know it was car tender, though. I thought it was a different business. Started a fire using hand sanitizer as an accelerant and then attacked his son with a knife when confronted. The owner and his son managed to put out the fire and detain the burglar. The complainant said, but the police never responded to their 911 call. A large crowd of CHOP participants then came to the scene and forced the owner to release the arsonist. I mean, that's some old Wild West, shit. I mean, for crying out loud, that's like an old gang from the Wild West coming to bust out their leader from a jail. And there's only one sheriff. That's crazy. Yeah, that guy should definitely sue. Other businesses, including the family-run label manufacturing company Richmark Label, said they had been unable to send or receive packages because delivery companies won't go near the protest zone or because access to their loading dock has been blocked by barricades. I'm surprised they're even still in their business area, to be honest. Irish says, bet they won't get them later either because masks are mandatory. Yeah. Masks are mandatory, but I wonder if you're in an open carry state and you start open carrying and you're wearing a mask the whole time, how long that's going to last. I know some places are trying to say, well, you can't open carry if you're concealing your identity, right? And that's some bullshit. And then they mandate it that you have to wear a mask. So basically, unless you have a CCL or CCW or whatever. I don't know, that's different per each state, and that's a topic we could spend a week or month on. So a man critically injured in the CHOP shooting says that he was a victim of a racial attack. A man critically wounded during a shooting in the CHOP said a feud over the East Precinct nearly cost him his life. A teenager was killed, 3 others were wounded. It was reported that there was just one shooting Saturday morning, but DeJuan Young was shot in a separate incident by different people. Young says his shooting was motivated by racism and happened a block from where the teenager was killed. He is talking from his hospital bed at this medical center, worried. He says that his case isn't being properly investigated. He's 33-year-old, or young 33, was alert, though in excruciating pain. He said just 2 days after he was shot outside the CHOP, he heard the first shooting and decided to leave. He reached 11th and Pike when a group of men intercepted him and shot him. So basically I was shot by, I'm not sure if they were Proud Boys or KKK, but the verbiage that they said was, hold this in, and shot me. What? Where is this at? This is in Seattle. There's roaming KKK in Seattle? Why haven't we heard of this? Proud Boys in Seattle? I mean, if the Proud Boys were there, I would imagine that they would be in the CHOP, right? They don't pick on one person like Antifa does. Wow. He says the force was so great it pushed him to the hood of the car. And they stood on top of me and continued to fire. He said, I tried to protect myself and got shot in the arm, and they got away. So they kept firing. They shot him. How many times was this fool shot? Sounds like he was just shot in the arm. He was the second shooting over a violent weekend in the CHOP. 19-year-old Lorenzo Adams died early Saturday morning. Young was shot. The next morning, another teenager was wounded. Then early this morning, shots were fired again. Alex Bennett, a former nurse of several CHOP several CHOP volunteer medics, took him to the Hebrew Harborview in a personal vehicle. Sorry about that. Someone said, okay, then they're going to get in a van since no ambulance is coming. All right, so yeah, I don't know about this. This is bullshit. The Proud Boys or the KKK. Usually, well, aren't they one and the same though? I don't know. That's crazy. So that's pretty much what I have on Seattle. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know about you guys, but let's see what you're all saying. What's up, Quasar? How you doing this evening? And HDP says hello. This to me does not seem right. I didn't read this prior, so that's why I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? I probably should start reading these prior, but I just kind of catch the headline and like, yeah, I want to talk about that. And then we read it together kind of thing. Okay. So on to other news. Have you guys been following the whole Obama gate? This is kind of interesting. I don't think anything's going to come of it, right? I don't see anything coming from this, but I think we'll talk about it a little bit. They stood over him and shot him, and we're supposed to believe he survived it. No, apparently he's on the hood of a car. They're standing over him, is what he's claiming, right? And repeatedly shooting and only hit him in the arm. Okay? I wonder if it was one of these. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of like this whole Bubba Wallace and Jesse Smollett shit. Boy, we just want to be victims, don't we? Or at least some of us. So I have no idea how you pronounce this guy's name. Strzok. I guess Stork or Stroke. I don't know. The personal notes of biased FBI agent Peter Strzok, I think it's Strzok or what? Yeah, Strzok. On Wednesday led to several stunning new revelations in the Obamagate scandal to frame former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn with a perjury trap. So yeah, I don't know if you guys follow this. I really don't think anything's coming from it, but it is interesting. This is bigger than Watergate, in my opinion. I mean, you have a president trying to undermine an incoming president. It's crazy. His notes from 1/4/17 released in the Flynn case, discussion among Obama, Comey, Yates, Biden, and Susan Rice. Biden says, hey, Logan Act? Obama, have the right people on. And then Comey, the Flynn calls appear legit. So we're going to just read this. I'm not going to read the notes. The notes dated January 4, 2017 confirmed the prior administration by Obama Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, that the former president had himself directed the smear against Flynn. Obama appeared to be speaking in coded language and dog whistles when he directed then FBI Director James Comey and others to have the right people on the Flynn investigation, which the FBI was preparing to drop. Yeah, have the right people. I know what that even means. You don't even have to be in the know to know what that means. A January 20th CIA memo by outgoing National Security Advisor Susan Rice implied that Obama had encouraged the FBI to do everything above board. Yeah, this is funny. This is the day of the inauguration of Trump, I believe. The day of or the day before, right? So right as they're leaving the White House, she's writing these memos to make sure that they cover their ass. And, oh yeah, he wanted everything to be above board. A likely deliberate misrepresentation of his statements in context, when in fact he was telling them to intentionally protract their investigation using false pretenses. Stork went on to tell the low-level attorneys handling the case not to dismiss it because the seventh floor was involved, meaning FBI leadership. This comes back to the whole Vegas shooting, in my opinion. I haven't talked about the Vegas shooting. I need to do more research on it. But it was suggested in one of these streams a while back about it, and I don't know, man. I think it was Tactical Tony who's talking about how the FBI had a lot to do with the whole Vegas shooting. They never found a motive. The guy was a millionaire, and he got bump stocks? If you're a millionaire, you can get fully automatics. Why would you go for bump stocks? There was also somebody in here who told me that one of the weapons he had bought that day, and they could not find it in his house or in the hotel room or anywhere. In fact, as far as I know, they still haven't found it. Now, this is what people have told me here in the chat. So I would obviously want to look into this more before I would, try to make my own decision on that. But it's very interesting. And when you have this kind of corruption coming out of the FBI, anything and everything to make Trump look bad, maybe. This also, remember the Vegas shooting also happened in Trump's first 2 years. This was when we were supposed to get some of our rights back. The whole Hearing Protection Act that would allow suppressors to be bought like a normal firearm instead of having to wait a year for a tax stamp and a background check. I don't know. Problem reaction solution. They are most definitely orchestrated some of these things in this point. Talk to Bikes and Bullets. I don't know if he's talking to me. Me and him talked before. We've even hung out privately, but I believe he's a cop or an ex-cop, so, I have an opinion about that, and so therefore sometimes those police officers or ex-police officers don't like that opinion. He knows a ton about the Vegas shooting. I might reach out to him. I definitely need to get some articles on that. Stork raised serious questions about false statements made by several Obama officials, including current presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Rice, who is currently on Biden's short list to be his running mate, was one of the several top officials who testified under oath denying knowledge of the FBI operations to smear both Flynn and Trump with false claims of Russian collusion, and then used legal technicalities to claim critical misconduct. This is definitely, the reason this is coming out now is because it's an election year. Don't think that they didn't know a lot of this prior to that. But especially since Biden's running, they're going to be using this big time. Biden, meanwhile, claimed in Good Morning America interview with former Clinton stooge George Stephanopoulos, I can pronounce that name, now the head of ABC News operations, that he was unaware of an FBI plot. A day after Biden's interview, his claims were discredited by the release of the Obama officials who had requested unmasked intelligence reports regarding Flynn's conversations with a Russian diplomat. I remember that. He went on like, I have no idea about this. And then the next day they came out like, right there, boom, you're part of it. So this is all unraveling. It's political theater. It probably won't mean anything, but it is very interesting to me. I think it also could tie into the Vegas shooting. I mean, it doesn't tie in, but it just shows you that if the FBI can be corrupted like this from Obama, I mean, they're pretty bad at that point, right? They're totally Obama-led the whole way. There still are a lot of Obama people left in the FBI, as far as I know, and it took them a long time. So that shooting could have definitely been orchestrated by them. And I mean, that's some deep conspiracy shit, right? So I don't know. I'm not saying for sure, right? But it is sketch. So I don't know if you want to jump on the conspiracy train on that or not. Let's go to another story. The Dixie Chicks, they're going to change their name. If they weren't woke back in the 1990s, they're going to be even extra woke now. Well, I tell you what, country music has really gone down the shit tube, hasn't it? I used to love country music. Still do, some of the old stuff, and some of the new stuff, not very much, but a little bit. But the Dixie Chicks, man, oh my goodness. I remember being a fan when they first came out. But they've just been getting worse and worse and worse. $30K on hot dogs with extra walnut sauce for the win? What? I have no idea. That's some coded language, man. That's too coded for me. So, yeah, the Dixie Chicks, they want to be changing their name because, Dixie. Dixie might make you think that they're racist, right? So now they just want to be called the chicks. Isn't that derogatory towards women?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard feminists like, don't call me a chick. I'm a whatever. I don't know. The country band announced the name change on their website Thursday with the caption, "We want to meet this moment." Dixie is the name of the state south of the Mason-Dixon line that seceded from the Union in 1861 over slavery. No, they seceded from the Union because they weren't getting represented the way they wanted to be represented. And the North says, screw you, we're going to make you stay. Oh, and we're making it about slavery. Okay. The Chicks have updated their social media handles and have also released a new music video from their song March, along with their new name. The song off their upcoming album Gaslighter is a tribute to protest for equality and social issues over the past decades. I can't believe these girls still freaking sing. I haven't heard a song from them in forever. I don't know. I don't really listen to country stations. Anybody here listen to country stations all the time? If you do you hear the Dixie Chicks on a regular basis? Because I don't listen to it a lot. March, march to my own drum. Hey, hey, I'm an army of one, the women sing. This will be the Chicks' first album in nearly 14 years. Well, there you go. I just answered my own question. No, they haven't done nothing in 14 years. Wow. I'm almost sorry for reading that article. That's how unnecessary that was. Podesta emails, Quasar? Alright. Gaslighter. I feel like our government has been gaslighting all of us. They are old. So those are all the news articles I've got for this evening. So we'll talk here a little bit, and then we'll call it an evening. How y'all doing? What you doing this week? I've been coin roll hunting a little bit, and I've also been silver collecting a little bit, maybe a little too much. I'll listen to Luke Bryan before I'll listen to the Crappy Chicks. There you go. That's their name. That should be the name they changed it to. For crying out loud, for real. 14 years. 14 years. So that was 2006? Or about then? Wow. 2006. I had a flip phone. Way to go, Dixie Chicks. Or Chicks, or Crappy Chicks. That's hilarious. Anybody got any news from where you're at? We got 14 viewers, 6 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you haven't hit the like button and you like the video, don't forget to hit it. If you don't like the video and you think I'm full of shit, you can hit the thumbs down. It won't offend me too much, right? If you're not subscribed, you can consider doing that. If you're one of the viewers who haven't chimed in, I mean, you're more than welcome to chime in. We don't mind you, right? But if you want to lurk, that's fine too. We appreciate y'all. So as I brought up at the beginning of this chat, Chicks, nice. As I brought up at the beginning of this chat, what are you going to do with your second stimulus check? Hopefully you did something good with your first. I would suggest you pay off your debts or you invest it in one way or the other. First stimulus check we got, we paid off some credit cards, paid off the rest of my truck, and then we put some into gold. This next one, if we get it, we've already divvied it up in our heads of what we're going to do, and it's all going for investments at this point. And we've been doing pretty good investments. We've been hustling a little bit. Well, I've been hustling a little bit since, I don't got much to do. I go out and we've been getting stuff at yard sales and thrift stores and other things and turning it around and selling it on eBay. I might actually start doing some videos on the products that we pick up because I try to pick up the interesting in the bizarre. And one of the most interesting and bizarre pickups that I had was a pink Jesus. I saw on the shelf, I was like, why is this Jesus pink? So I pick it up and I notice that it's sloshing. Oh, that's weird. So I turn it over and all of a sudden this little ball comes up out of the blue liquid with an answer. And I'm like, it's a magic 8-ball Jesus. This is amazing. And I've been told before that if you're going to, sell anything on eBay like this, if you're going to do some kind of business like this, make sure you always buy the weird and the strange, right? And to me, that was weird and strange. I immediately went on my phone, checked eBay. Sure enough, some had sold with the box, like brand new in box. But this one wasn't brand new or in box. This was just by itself. Some of the liquid was gone. It looked tore up, right? The ones that were brand new in box were going for $125. I bought this on the tag of the day special for $5, right? So I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't have the box and it's kind of in rough shape. It's not going to sell for $125, but I'm definitely going to get more than $10 out of it, right? So I put it up there for $125. With every week that it doesn't sell, it goes down in price, you know? So I was like, well, we'll just start up there, and every week it doesn't sell, we'll go down. It sold within 24 hours for $125. Man, I really would love to do more of those. Let's see. Quasar, news in my AO. I brought the Life Fighter tent, military tent, for $110 off of eBay. Gotta love the surplus auctions. Yeah, I haven't looked into those. I should. I have been going on to eBay looking for silver, and I've been doing pretty good. I've been getting silver for under melt value most of the time. I can't even, and that's not even with using eBay bucks. That's using with last second auctions. And it's not a lot, right? I got 28 dimes that's coming that was right at melt. And then I have $1 worth of quarters coming that was just a little bit under melt. So it's not a lot, right? But I don't have a lot to spend usually. I usually have about $200 every 2 weeks to spend on silver and gold. And this week I put most of that into gold. Quasar, what second check? We get another? Well, that's the running theory, right? We got a lot of people saying that that's going to happen. I don't know if it will or not. If it does, I'm just saying maybe try to invest it. Now, the younger me would have thrown that money away. Because I remember what I used to do when I'd get a tax return for a couple $1,000s. I threw that money away into cars or into computer stuff that didn't do anything with. Most of the time, that was wasted money. Stop telling your eBay secrets. You might create a link to sell your secrets. Yeah, I know, right? Maybe I'm right. Maybe you're right on that one. Maybe you're right. But at the same time, I'm thinking I might go ahead and make videos not on how I'm doing it, but just on the item itself, right? So if I still had the pink Jesus, which I don't because I've already shipped it, but if I did have it, doing a video on it, that's great for people who want to see weird and strange things on the internet for YouTube, right? But that's also something that you can link on eBay, and so the person that's curious about that item can not only see pictures, but they can also see videos. So I'm thinking it might be a win-win. Good chat other day, Irish. Yeah, thank you. It was a good chat. I appreciate that. Infomercial. Pretty much. If I get another, it goes into my buy land fund. Nice. There you go. Do something productive, right? Invest, pay off debt, buy land. That's a great one right there. In fact, some of our next one, if we do get another one, we are saving up for a down payment. So we'd definitely put a good chunk of that in there. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for hanging out on a Thursday night. If you're interested in these kind of chats and you like this, I do these every weekday. I do these every weekday night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which was about 41 minutes ago, right? And we do the day's news and maybe bullshit a little bit. If you're not already subscribed, consider doing so. If you like the video, thumbs it up. If you don't like it, thumbs it down. Hit the bell if you want to, but you know what? I'm pretty regular on this part. I am going to try to get some other videos going, though. I do have a 1911 that I want to do a video on, and I think I might be doing a silver and gold video this weekend. But I've said that many times before, and who knows. You can also catch me on Irish USMC Vets channel in the mornings. Hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be doing a morning muster. So if you're interested in this, go check him out. You can probably click his username there. Jay Sparks was here. Right on. Welcome, Jay Sparks. Thank you for joining. Anyway, until tomorrow, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much. Peace. Whoops. 1 second. Whoop. Keep your family close. Watch out for the government because they're coming to get you. And live as free as possible. Peace.